Hi, my name is Eric. You probably already know this, but I've had some time to reflect. Not that long ago, I had to express myself about the uncomfortable feelings of a shift in society. And that's just for the sake of the projects that are going on momentarily, but I think that we need to understand that there's a fractal nature to a lot of the things that are going on. And pardon my art speak, but the paint's been spilled and I can't see this going back. And we got some very heavy layers here that it's going to take a lot of work and effort to shift the way that the whole, as society, has to actually overcome a lot of the obstacles that we're not only going to face here in the more economic sense, but more in terms of sustainability, food source, and providing a future for generations to come. So, with this bear in mind, I can't help but put an emphasis for the very nature of reality, what we are. If we are the nature that is existing, why not turn to nature for the answer? So many of us are in a position right now that there is a crisis, there is suffering going on. There are many that are coming to a crisis of their own circumstantial scenario in terms of their experience, what they've allowed their life to become in terms of seeing where they have been, to look within for the first time in who knows how long. And then there's many who are going it on a physical level that are experiencing all sorts of hardships, whether it's from the health end or being able to supply to the loved ones you have. There's all sorts of obstacles that people are facing that puts them in a position where we no longer are able to really get a hold in a way that individuals are acting about. But we can be a sense of examples in which we can provide ideas and concepts which through the elementals of both air and fire can really bring about some sort of inspiration that not only is an innovative opening opportunity but can do so in a way that is more open source. Now, I've always talking about the peer-to-peer aspects of things, and when you're dealing with wanting to connect with others, it's what you have to offer that can bring to the table, not like the limitations in terms of channels. We can work together to actually co-create a lot of different alternatives that we just never realize adjacent to the paths that we're all on. And I personally am on this journey where after some long-term reflections of everything going on and the amount of energy I'd like to actually invest in certain avenues of my life, whether it's gardening in my backyard, whether it's sustaining the family, or also pursuing more big stories or ideas I'd like to actually present to the world, not only for the sake of my own artistic expression, but to bear forth something even larger that I can incorporate a way to educate others of an experience, as well as also being a tool that can actually inspire, lift, and even further individuals on their pursuit so that they themselves become empowered and realize that everything that they're looking for starts within them. And they also play a role in their unique nature, that we are ourselves, that can connect with those around us, that really open up the opportunities. And we are the surprise. We are the left field out there concepts that are birthed through these creative senses that many of us don't realize we all inherently share. So for my path, I'd like to see that maybe my sense of disregarding the idea of betraying more video messages may not have been in my favor because I felt like I was putting my heart into something and not seeing it back. But I also am reminded where my heart actually is at and the means and goals of why I like to express what I like. And at the same time, too, trying to find balance because it's not that I can do everything at once. So, in my perspective, I find that it would be a stronger message to use the avenues of connecting through other individuals. And this is going to be probably the model in which I'll probably pursue so that I can also keep a very well at home grasp at the things that are more personal and dear. And at the same time, too, these same projects that are personal and dear, I'm shifting gears on a lot of things because now I'm looking at things more long term, sustainability. And this is the type of sustainability I'll be talking about in future videos in terms of being able to inspire others to, whether it's grow food in your own backyard or to be sustainable in your own actions or in the ways in which you source where you consume whatever it is that you're getting, whether it's the media, food, or even sources. These concepts, these ways of freedoms in which we're all inherently able and capable of going out and creating in the world. We are that change, that surprise. And I think that no spark is without the ability to act as light within darkness. So there is a kind of an interpretation of fear, but I think right now we are at such a bright opportunity where there is this heavy sense of many being called to finally get a grasp on where they stand and to really evaluate what's going on around them. Because once you're able to process that and honor it, then action, acceptance, and the moving forward to be not only proactive, but to get the ball rolling so you yourself are investing in your actions, in your mind, and in the way that you move forward. So I look forward to exploring a lot more videos and to be more open and honest. I'm going to find a couple of different ways because right now I felt in my personal past that I try to create all these different outlets. And as I strip down to the bare of what nature really is, I can't help but let go and realize that my identity is what will carry forth what I create, my messages, my art, and all the other avenues that I'm just feeling so passionately driven to bring to the world. So I'll share more details on that at other times. And a lot of this stuff, it's more, you kind of have to just wait and you'll see, because the visions and the experience and everything else that I kind of have at my disposal as an individual, whether it's just even the ability to get in touch with my dreams, or to understand Ayurvedic or astrological perspectives, or even the sense of art and creation, or esoteric principles, or even how the electric nature of reality is just as opposed to the magnetic nature of reality, and it takes two for them to form together and create a beautiful work of life in which it sustains the reality. So I hope to actually get some of these messages that I'm actually now also writing and putting into these long-term thoughts that I hope will make a difference somewhere, someday. But today is a start of something, and it is spring. So with that in mind, let's just allow our seeds to grow, and let's see what flowers will be blossoming, because I think that many can say that we are in a year zero, but it's actually the year zero is the present moment in which we choose to take responsibility for the life we want to have in our life. The choices we make not only define us, but they have the opportunity to build the bridges we need to not only build the world of tomorrow, but one that will actually withstand for generations, that not only inspires others, but is uplifting and beneficial for those who each have their unique role, however they portray in a whole society. They are coming down to a very localized, interconnected, personal, rooted way of saying we are here in the world, and let's also take care of what we have around us. So this responsibility, everyone's going to interpret it a different way. Everyone's going to have their own say and their own way of dealing with it. Many want to face it head on. Others are possibly even in denial. Many of us are not going to be able to avoid it because it will show up in one way or another. And in some cases too, we're dealing with a crisis in which we honestly need to start taking responsibility where we can, to do what we can, and honestly stay true. Because without that, without the integral role of who we're meant to be, you're going to be lost. And you're lost in your confusion, you're never going to get out, because in that case, you might be lucky, but in most, you got to be aware to protect those around you. So with those words, I hope that you find a deep meaning in what you choose to do from here on out. And like myself, realize that many of the things that we're going forward now have to be more long-term, long-standing. And if it's to be sustainable, the amount of drive, action, and maintenance that is necessary will have to be not only adaptable, but being able to create the greenhouse effect we need, that we can actually sustain crops during instability, so that when the snow comes in spring, or when the rain and hail hits hard, that we do not lose the passion and investment we put into the crops and things we want to grow in reality. So with all that said, I thank you for tuning in. And I'd like to also say thank you to those who have actually recently found out about the Patreon, because many of you guys have helped support it. Even just a micro donation of just $1 has helped be able to do little things that make a difference. Even though comes in handy for professionalism, there is a lot that comes between bridging sustainability of the home through my end and then allowing what is being offered to help the studio grow what I offer out there, in the sense of being able to just finally have a mic that works in over 10 years. It's just impressive for me to say, hey, I'm thankful for you guys being able to actually believe in what I do. And I look forward to not only being able to produce more stuff like this and realize that I can't escape your known nature. And to do so, it is best to understand the strengths of that and to move forward with that. So with that, I am still looking forward to other ways of art and expressions, but I'm also looking for more long-term and very refined features that will take some time to invest in, but no differently than a garden is worth the labors in which you want to yield. So thank you very much again, and as always, stay true.